Have you ever had a player use a Kobold's corpse as a floor broom? Well, I did. Internet, this is Daniel, and this is Driving in Dragons. Just wanted to have a quick little snippet today. I guess some people call them tabletop war stories, things of that nature. I usually reserve a term like that for something that's a little bit more in depth, got a little bit more flesh to it. But I'm just going to put this little short out there for a discussion topic. It's one of those interesting quirks. What happens when you're sitting there playing and that one PC decides they're going to do something a little bit outside of the out of the box. So I had a short group, had a couple of players who were unable to make it last minute, so I was sitting there with two players, actually a mother and son that are two players in my group, and without the other players there, we weren't going to push our regular campaign. We're currently running a Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 edition campaign, a large scale epic war campaign. So I just pulled out Sunless Citadel, which is a classic 3rd edition module for first level characters, and ran it for the two of them. They're 4th level, so 2 4th level characters, bard and a druid, shouldn't have much trouble with it. And for those who aren't familiar with the Sunless Citadel, I guess this is your spoiler warning, but a key part of the Sunless Citadel is there's a group of kobolds and a group of goblins that are in these ruins, and they're fighting and warring with each other, and the goblins break in and they manage to steal and kidnap a wormling white dragon that is the kobold's god figure. And when the players arrive, there's a kobold there. His name's Moopoo, and he's crying in his bedroll and is unresponsive because he was the guardian of the dragon, the keeper of the dragon, and the dragon got kidnapped, and now he's kind of a social pariah. And he's really supposed to be a sympathetic figure. The players are gonna, they can just go in and wholesale slaughter everybody. There's 100 different ways that you can actually run that little scenario. It's actually a relatively decent site-based adventure that's good for kind of teaching newer players at first level different ways to handle situations. But there's a diplomatic approach where if you'll help the kobolds get their dragon back, they actually will assist you a little bit and they won't attack you. So that's what my players do. They run up, and of course they, as always, because they're the greediest players on the planet, they sit there and try and every diplomacy check you can think of to try and milk more reward out of the kobold leader. And they set off to go find the goblins, and Moopoo was sent with them as a guide. He's basically expendable to the kobolds at this point. They don't care what happens to him. So it's like, yeah, fine, he can lead you over to the goblins, and we really don't care what happens to him. Again, he's supposed to be a sympathetic figure. You're supposed to kind of feel for the guy because, he hit with overwhelming numbers, and, probably the worst thing that ever happened to him is he survived. So instead of dying heroically, he's just that poor bastard who let the god get kidnapped. And they come to this section where it's the entrance into the goblins section of the ruins, where they got a narrow, short hallway. The hallway is covered in caltrops. Into the hallway is a low wall, and when they go into it, there's a bell on the door. It alerts the guards, and the goblins start hurling javelins over the top of the wall. Well, my players, now this is one of those fun instances where they almost video game it. There's two kinds of players in the world: the kind that think like a video game, and the kind that think like a person in real life. And our bard definitely has some video gaming tendencies to him, because what's he do is like, all right, we're going to shut the door, and then we're going to hide on either side of the door, and when the goblins come through, we're going to jump them from either side. And oh yeah, that's fine. My druid is she's a computer programmer and a project manager, and very, very linear minded, very, very logically minded. She's a good problem solver, but she is not a creative type at all. And So neither one of them are coming up with the idea that there's no logical reason these guards are going to hop this wall, come through their own trap to get to the door so they can be ambushed, like they would in, say, a video game where, okay, I've alerted the enemy and now their AI is going to have them come after me. It's like, no, they're going to stay behind this wall and wait for you to poke your head out again and chuck more spears at you. So, of course, I have old Moo-Poo point out, that why would they come through their own trap? And my bard says, okay, well, fine. Well, tell you what, let's have poor old Moo-Poo open the door. So, of course, they say, hey, yeah, open up the door. As soon as he opens the door, bam, bam, 2 javelins to the chest. He's on the ground. He's bleeding out. And he's toast. He's done for. So they do what's necessary to take care of the goblins. And they're sitting here staring at the caltrop hall. Now, these are caltrops. A little bit of logic, just walk through slowly, or drag a cloak on the ground or something. There's plenty of ways that they could take care of this situation. I mean, heck, they're 4th level characters. If you want to really metagame it, just walk across them, take your couple of damage, and hop the wall like it's going to stop you. But instead, my druid looks back and says, okay, so he's dead, right? Yeah, he's finished. It's like, I want to make sure that he's actually dead, like there's no way we can heal him or anything. Okay, roll a heal check. She rolls a heal check. It's like, yeah, he's toast. Only way he's coming back is cleric, comes and raises dead on him. So the javelin's still in his chest? Yep, javelins are still in his chest. I mean, he got stuck pretty good. She goes, okay, well, I'm going to grab the javelins and I'm just going to, like, push his body down the hall so I can collect all the caltrops. And it's like, I just paused for a moment. Now, the bard, who somehow, our bard who's played by a teenage boy, is the moral center of this group, is just, I mean, he is pearl clutching and outraged immediately. He's like, Jesus Christ, you gotta have, it's like, this is our friend. It's like you're gonna disrespect his corpse, shoving it down the hallway. I mean, we should be doing like last rites or something. Meanwhile, the druid's over there like, what are you talking about? Like, he's dead. I mean, it's like, I checked to see if he could be healed first. I mean, he's gone. I mean, who cares? This solves our problem. And I'm just sitting here aghast. I'm like, of all the solutions possible to this really minor problem, your first idea is to make a floor broom out of a dead ally. So that happens there, and all I can think in the back of my head is, we've all heard about halfling on a pole to find traps. Put the halfling on the end of a 10-foot pole, shove him down there, see if there's traps down there. But this is the first time I've ever heard of a Kobold broom. So I just want to know, what are your thoughts on it? A little short clip about some funny stuff happening at the table. What's funny that's happened at your table? How would you handle the Kobold broom scenario? Is this a great disrespect to the laws of nature and life and death, and I should be punishing my druid? Or is this just the kind of thing you laugh off? Or hell, do you even try to justify it by saying, hey, use every part of the animal? Just let me know down in the comment section. Let's have a little conversation about it. Seems like a fun one to me. But otherwise, like and share and subscribe. Let's have a little bit of fun with this one, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say.